Hey everybody, I hope everybody's having a good night. Real excited to talk to everybody tonight. You know, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. For everybody watching this video, we all know that as much as you plan in life and you prepare for things, and in my work career, my legal career, I certainly do a lot of planning and preparation. But a lot of times folks, are just outside of our control. And, what we're going to be talking about tonight is certainly something that was out of our control. But I was kind of thinking and reflecting about tonight's show and thinking, how could I sum it up? Maybe kind of something to put into words. And I found this quote that I wanted to read, and I don't like reading out here on Facebook, but I certainly want to do that. It says, "We don't develop courage by being happy every day. We develop it by surviving difficult times and challenging adversity." A lot of truth in that statement, that we develop the courage in our life by when we're faced with adverse situations, when we're faced with difficult times. And so that is certainly something that we faced in our life and that I want to share with you tonight. This is a special edition of the Mo Show Live, and I want to thank everybody that's joining in. We typically, I started this adventure about a year ago, and I love to have guests on and to share people and a lot of their worthy causes that are out there. And there's so many, and I've been so thankful for your support over the last year and the great guests that I've had on over the last year. But I wanted to share tonight our personal story, and that is the story of Team Well, our March of Dimes team, and share with you how that got started, and that we're getting ready to ramp up the 2018 March for Babies, share a little bit about what the mission of the March of Dimes is, and I'm so excited to do that tonight. Before I get started, if you're watching, please say hello, check in if you've got questions about the March of Dimes. I'm not a March of Dimes expert, but I'll do my best to chime in and answer any questions. If you've got questions about Team Well, please let us know. We'll be glad to answer those questions. So let me kind of get started. And so Team Well started in 2013. Shannon and I started that to honor our late son Will and to help other parents and babies have a healthy start. And we have done that by starting a family team with the March of Dimes. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, is Team Well, the March of Dimes, and before I kind of dive back in, I want to say hello to Ashley Toms, who's with the March of Dimes down in Birmingham, the Alabama chapter. She does a great job. Thanks for all your support, Ashley. Hello to Daryl Dixon, Jennifer Allen, Danny Hicks, Stephanie Nunez, Kara Gilbert with the March of Dimes. She does a great job. Terry Carter, my good friend Bernard Nomberg, who was a real inspiration for me starting Team Well, and in his work with the breast cancer awareness in honor of his late wife. So, but let me kind of tell you a little bit about our story. And I think that kind of helps put a focus on it. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but Shannon and I went to the same small town high school. Folks that don't know me, or that maybe are my friends on social that didn't know us growing up, folks, we grew up in Mayberry, and I affectionately say that and love where we grew up. It is a small town with a little courthouse square. We went to what we classify in Alabama as a 1A high school with about 500 students. Everybody knew everybody. You knew what the person down the road was having for dinner. And so, we grew up best friends. We never dated in high school. She played softball, was in the band. I was on the football team. Life was great. I go off to college at Tennessee at Maryville College, and then we start dating. And we dated all through long distance while I was at college. And then I come back to Alabama to Birmingham to attend law school at Sanford, and we continue today. Now, the fun story with all of that, guys, is, I hear people all the time say, "Wow, man, we finally got married. We dated for 4 or 5 years." Well, folks, if you don't know, I held out for 9 years. So I don't know who, I don't know who allowed Shannon just to hang on that long, because I know she was getting a lot of pressure to ditch this guy and move on. But we did. We got married, and in September of 2006, we were married about 2 years, and then, as ready as you can be, as they say, to have children. Shannon got pregnant, and what happened then was a lot was going on in our life. Not only were we expecting our first child, I made a career change. We were living in in Cottondale, or right outside of Tuscaloosa. Shannon was commuting to Pickens County, where we both grew up. And at the time, I was commuting to Birmingham, where I was working. Well, I moved to Huntsville to join my law firm at Martinson and Beeson, which was just a tremendous blessing and great opportunity. So we were going to be apart during the pregnancy because Shannon had to finish school, and where she was teaching in Pickens County at Aliceville Middle School. Well, fast forward and to kind of speed it up, but I get a call one day at the office, and Shannon had been to the OB, and she found out that there was an abnormal ultrasound, and the doctor said, "We're not real sure what's going on. We think maybe the baby is missing a kidney, but you know what we want to do? We want to be safe. We want to send you guys to Birmingham to see a specialist." Okay, we're a little nervous, we're a little concerned, don't know exactly what's going on, so we get an appointment, and I come down from Huntsville. Shannon drives up, and we go to the Kirkland Clinic to see a specialist. We had, folks, probably over the duration of the rest of the pregnancy, at least 6 high-intensity ultrasounds. And I don't mean the little bitty screens like you see when you ship a go. I mean, there's 50-inch flat screens that, most guys that want to watch football on Saturdays would be jealous of. And, the funny part of that story is that we didn't want to find out what the baby was. So every time we have one of these ultrasounds, we have to tell the tech, we have to tell the specialist, please don't tell us because we don't want to know the sex of the baby. But the long story short of it was that all they would tell us that they could figure out was wrong was that the baby was missing a kidney, but they didn't see anything else wrong. So, for everybody just joining now, hey, this is Jackson Lilienthal. Welcome to a special edition of Mo Live. I am talking about Team Will, our March of Dimes team, and sharing a little bit about our story. So, Shannon and I, pregnant, we find out there's an issue. We go see a specialist, and then the specialist basically tell us, hey, he or she, because we didn't want to find out, was missing a kidney, but everything else looks fine. So we said, do we need to have the delivery at UAB or at Children's Hospital, or is it okay to have it back in Northport at our regular hospital where our OB typically delivers? They said, everything looks fine. A lot of children are missing kidneys. People are missing kidneys that don't even know they're missing kidneys. So long story short, we line up a C-section, and, for me, somebody who likes to have everything on their calendar, it was perfect. Hey, be at the hospital at this time. This time you're going to have a baby. So that's what happened. We get there, we show up at the hospital, we have the section, and the doctor says it's a boy. And certainly, because we didn't know, we're excited. And the doctor says, hey, he's peeing, and, which for us was a great sign because we were worried about him having any kidney issues. Well, within about 2 minutes, everything tumbled downhill. And the doctors and nurses says there's some things that are wrong. His breathing is not right, so we need to rush him back to the NICU. And for those that don't know, the NICU is the kind of neonatal intensive care unit. It's kind of the ICU for babies. And the hospital we were at had a level 3 NICU, which is the highest level NICU that any ordinary hospital would have. So Shannon gets put back into her room, after everything is taken care of, and we're in the room, and we're scared to death and worried to death. But at this point, we haven't really been told anything really alarming. And so we get to go back to the NICU to see Will and see what's going on, and really not getting much answers. And a little later, we're told by the doctors and staff that, hey, he's got a lot of problems, and he's so critical that we can't treat him here. So he needed to be transported to Birmingham, and in Birmingham, they have what's called the RNIC, which is the Regional Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. So it's like the sickest of the sick, unfortunately. And so our worst nightmares were kind of coming true, which was we are, Will has all these problems that we were just praying and hoping that he wouldn't have. And then he was going to have to be transported to Birmingham, and Shannon couldn't go because she just had a C-section. So I traveled to Birmingham to be with Will, and it's you can't put into words when you first walk into a NICU like this. And at that time, the RNIC in Birmingham at UAB was one kind of big open room, and it was just NICU bed after NICU bed of sick little babies with tubes and wires coming out everywhere. And, for 2 days, day and a half to 2 days, it was just intense. What's going on? We had specialists checking and doing. The doctors and nursing staff were tremendous. They couldn't have been any more helpful, any more caring or concerning about what was going on. And so fortunately, within a day and a half or so, Shannon was able to get released early. She comes to Birmingham to be with us, and we're able to support each other. And what ends up, happening, the long story short, folks, is I sit down with the head doctor that was taking care of Will, and just the most unimaginable news you can hear, which is that his conditions are fatal. And so we had to come to grips with that, and it's just very difficult. But, fortunately, we had each other, we had our friends, our family, and so many people supporting us that we were able to push through. And, for the next weeks, days, months, it was very difficult, very, very difficult. So it's not anything that certainly we wish on anybody. No parent should have to endure that kind of pain. But, blessing, unfortunately, we were able to find out that through testing through us and other testing that, Will did not have any genetic defects. It was more of a situation where he just had a cluster of abnormalities. The doctors call it what they call a VACTERL syndrome, and it's about 1 in 40,000 newborns has these birth defects. And so, after some time and some thought and some prayer and everything else, we, Shannon, decided that we were ready to have another baby. And so that's, what got us to the next pregnancy and with Wyatt. And so, again, thanks for everybody joining. Really appreciate everybody joining. If you've got questions or comments, please join in. So after Will passed and we had the testing done, what we decided to, was that we were going to try to have another baby. And by this time, guys, we are here in Huntsville. Shannon has got a new job teaching in the Madison City schools. We're trying to get our life back on track. And we, get pregnant again. We find a great doctor here in Huntsville to work with who works with high-risk pregnancies. And again, we're not going to find out what we have. And as a side note, come on, people. I mean, you don't have to find out. It is so much fun not finding out what you want to have. The best part is everybody asking you, and they're going nuts because they don't know if you're having a boy or girl. So that was so much fun. But anyway, we're scared to death. We're nervous. Fortunately, all the scans for Wyatt were normal. And, we set up another section. Wyatt's born, and the doctor says it's a boy, and we're ecstatic again, and everything's healthy. The line I tell everybody is that, hey, the only thing wrong with Wyatt is he's full right. And so what we wanted to do, for those of you who may not know this, was that we wanted to honor Will in some way through Wyatt. And so what we did was we decided that we wanted them to share initials. So Wyatt and Will have the same initials, WJL. So that's something cool that every time Wyatt writes his initials, that he has a connection to his brother. So that was something we did that we really were really excited about doing. And unfortunately, I don't know what we would have done if Wyatt was a girl. It would have been much harder to do those initials. We rock and roll with Wyatt for a couple of years. Life was great. Work was good for me. Work was good for Shannon. We're running around like all newborn parents are, chasing your 2-year-old and trying to keep up with life. And, what really happened was there was just something missing. And a good friend of mine, as I mentioned earlier, Bernard Nomberg, had started a team in honor of his late wife to help raise money and awareness with his friends and families, and then others joined his team to do that. And so on a whim, I heard something somewhere about the March of Dimes, and this was in 2013, started having a local March for Babies, which is the March of Dimes kind of walk that's equivalent to the breast cancer walk, the Susan Komen breast cancer walk, or the Jump Up for Heart, those kind of things. It's their big awareness walk to help raise funds and awareness for the March of Dimes. So I told Shannon about it, and we just decided that we wanted to start a family team in honor of Will. And so that's how Team Will was born. And so we started that, and folks, it was probably 3 weeks from the walk. I mean, we were unorganized as all could be. And within 3 weeks, we jump around and we send out some emails. We call people. We got friends and family scrambling to come into town. We get some T-shirts printed up, and we raised almost $4,000 in 3 weeks, and I was just blown away. So over the next 5 years, it has just grown and grown and grown. We've gotten a little more organized. We have a Facebook page now. We send out cards to people who supported us and remind them of the upcoming walk and do it. We've really enjoyed getting Lion involved, taking funny pictures, taking videos, and doing that kind of thing. But let me share with you what the March of Dimes is and why we're so passionate about it, and what's going on with that. So the March of Dimes, and again, I'm no expert. I'd refer you to the March of Dimes website on it and everything, but the March of Dimes was started in 1938 by President Roosevelt, and he started it to help find a cure and a vaccine for polio. So that's how the March of Dimes really got its start, by FDR to raise awareness and to try to find a cure for polio. And I'm proud to say that I'm also a member of the Rotary Club and Rotary International, and part of our mission as Rotarians was to help find a cure for polio. As we like to say in Rotary, we're this close. Only about 3 countries left in the world that have any active cases of polio. So what happened over the years was the March of Dimes kind of changed their mission as a lot of organizations have evolved. And so the March of Dimes is really the leading advocate for women's health, prenatal health, pregnancy health, and for newborn babies. And so that's why we're so passionate about it. Their current mission essentially is to fight premature birth and to fight birth defects. Hey, for everybody joining, hey, this is Jackson Lilienthal. Welcome to a special edition of the Motion Live. We're talking about Team Will and the March of Dimes, our story, and our son, Will, who we honor now with our Team Will for the March of Dimes walk. And I want to thank a lot of people who are joining, Katie Tuttle, Brett Jones, Maurice Gant, Donald Hargrove, Bonnie Johnson, hey Mimi, and others for joining. So let me tell you just a quick statistics. You can look it up online somewhere to get more, but just to kind of give you a flavor that premature birth and birth defects are a really big problem, folks. 11.7% of births in Alabama are preterm. That's a lot. That's almost like 12%. In Alabama alone, over 500 infants die a year. That's 500 too many. It really is. And according to the March of Dimes, the yearly cost associated in the entire U.S. for premature birth is about $26 billion. So, that's why we're so passionate about the March of Dimes, is because we don't want any parents to go through what we went through. It is a pain that no one should have to feel. So we are so passionate about it. And March of Dimes has what they call the CARES program. And essentially the acronym stands for Community, Advocacy, Research, Education, and Support. So what that means in just common everyday English is a lot of the funds that they use are to fund research dollars, to take things and go out and provide research for prenatal issues. Why are women having babies still so early and not to term? Why are there birth defects like Will had? What can we do to solve those and provide research dollars similar to what they did for polio so many years ago to find a vaccine or find a cure or find a treatment? And they're also reaching out to mothers to talk about prenatal care and reaching out to other groups and spreading the word. So that's what the March of Dimes does. They're the leading advocacy group for these issues for women and for newborn babies. So what I would encourage you to do, so if you're watching this show on a replay or there are walks all over the country. If you go to the www.marchforbabies.org, a lot of the walks are usually probably in the April timeframe, give or take. Some may be different. But go to marchforbabies.org. If you'll check that site out, you can put in your zip code and you can find the local wall. If you want to start a team, start your own team. If you want to join a team, join a team. So that's what I would encourage you to do. We've been so fortunate over the last several years to have so much support from friends and family. And I'm just so blown away. Every year we get donations from people that I've never met. And what we came to find out through our struggles and through what we've been through is that there are so many people that have had a similar story that we didn't know about until we shared our story. So if you want to get involved with our team, we certainly would love your support. Certainly self-serving a little bit, obviously, but we want to do what we can do to keep pushing forward for Team Well and to keep pushing the mission of the March of Dimes and raising awareness and raising money. And so what you can do is if you happen to be in the North Alabama area, you can come walk with us. Hey, we got a special guest.
Hey everybody, Team Well needs your help this year.
That's right. So what you can do to support us, guys, is you can come April 21st on a Saturday. It'll be at UAH, which is University of Alabama Huntsville here in Huntsville at the Charger Park on campus. Come walk with us. You don't need to sign up. All you need to do is show up. So we'd love having you to come walk with us. Nothing else is needed. We do Team Well shirts every year. Our friends Katie and Josh Tuttle are going to help us do their shirts this year with Sincere Elephant. We're looking forward to that. So the Team Well shirts will be coming out soon. We'll have a link. Also, like our Team Well page, if you'll look at the top of the video here, it's Team Well March of Dimes, March for Babies. Please like our page. If you see posts, videos of Wyatt, anything else, please share those posts, comment on them. That'll help spread the word. And, certainly if you're able, we would love to have a donation. You can make a donation online. If you go to www.teamwell.net, just go to teamwell.net. There's a link there to go to the Secure March of Dimes website where the donation will go straight to the March of Dimes, and we'll get credit for it. But it's also tax deductible. So, I can't say enough. And Shannon and I want to thank everybody for their support. We've been doing this for 5 years now, and it's just kind of taken a life of its own. And it's a labor of love for us. We're so blessed and so thankful for all your support over the years. It's been so therapeutic for us. The support we have seen has, if it wasn't for everybody, I don't know that we would have made the lasting recovery that we've made and been able to take such a tragedy in our lives and turn it into something so positive. And it's thanks to all your support. So I want to thank everybody so much. Again, thank you for your support of the Mo Show Live. I appreciate your support of Team Well. Please join us. Sit up, Wyatt. Please join us. April 21st, if you can, like and share our posts, like and share this video to help spread the mission of the March of Dimes. If you're not local, check out the March of Dimes online and check out the marchforbabies.org to support your local chapter and your local wall. Thank you so much for everybody. Have a good night. So I'm Wyatt.
Bye.